Hey guys, I'm here at the beautiful Rillito Park in Tucson. We are going to do a bike ride today on the famous Tucson Loop. The Tucson Loop is an awesome bike path that circles a really large chunk of Tucson. It's 130 plus miles long. So we're not going to be riding all 130 plus miles today, but where we are going to ride is at the base, the section of the loop that's the closest to the Catalina foothills, which is at the base of the Catalina Mountains. Catalina foothills, Catalina Mountains are one of the nicest areas in Tucson, and this is just a part of the trail or part of the ride that I really like. And Rillito Park is absolutely beautiful too. So anyways, I just wanted to welcome you to this bike ride. I'm going to be doing a lot of riding and then also some explanation as to and more information about the trail. So stay tuned for that as we go. We're going to go ahead and get on our ride right now. It's a beautiful day today, kind of overcast. I see some storms kind of in the distance. It looks like we're kind of in between, so we should be able to avoid any kind of rain today, but you never know. But I love days like this because when it's usually so hot and sunny, it's just really nice to kind of get a reprieve. So anyways, let's get on this bike ride already. Thanks so much for joining in. Make sure to like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Would love to see you come back again. I do a lot of stuff on Arizona, Tucson, Phoenix, and all around. So make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. And let's do some fun bike riding today. Yes! I did all my prep already. I put on my sunscreen. I checked my tire air pressure. I've got my bike helmet, putting on my riding gloves. I wear this around my nose. It helps to protect from dust and stuff. So you don't get if you have nasal issues, you don't get a stuffy nose the next day and you're not breathing in all that dirt. It is the desert after all. Can't forget all your water. Gotta make sure you have that. I've got this Camelback backpack that has this water pouch in it. It's awesome. You can wash it in the dishwasher and all that good stuff, so always make sure you got plenty of water. But yeah, gotta make sure you got the helmet on. We are good to go. Let's do this!
Did you know the loop wasn't originally built for recreation? In the early 1980s, especially after the devastating floods of 1983, Pima County reinforced the banks of Tucson's dry riverbeds, Rillito, Santa Cruz, Pantano, as part of flood control. Eventually, maintenance roads along these embankments evolved into paved, fair-use trails. In March 2018, the network was fully completed as a continuous loop, stretching roughly 138 miles. It was named for Chuck Huckelberry, a longtime county administrator and avid cyclist, deeply committed to this greenway vision. You know what's really cool? The loop has actually earned national praise from USA Today as Best Recreational Trail in 2021 and 2022. And it's also been a core factor in Tucson's ongoing recognition, the gold level bicycle-friendly community. That's awesome. Local cyclists frequently praise it as one of America's premier cycling experiences. Smooth, varied, scenic, and nearly entirely car-free. And that I would definitely agree with. Hello and welcome, fellow cyclists, adventurers, and explorers. Today we're embarking on a guided tour of one of Tucson's crown jewels, the Tucson Bike Loop. Whether you're a local looking for a new shortcut or a curious tourist eager to experience the desert landscape on two wheels, this loop offers a blend of natural beauty, historical intrigue, and plenty of insider tips. So strap on your helmet, adjust your mirrors, and let's ride together through history, art, and the rugged charm of Tucson, Arizona. Tucson, set against the dramatic backdrop of the Sonoran Desert, is a city alive with color, sunlight, and unmistakable spirit of adventure. The Tucson Bike Loop, often simply known as the Loop among residents, is more than just a network of bike paths. It's a living tapestry that weaves through neighborhoods, parks, and ancient landscapes, designed to provide both a practical commuting option as well as a recreational escape. The loop encompasses miles of carefully planned routes that vary in difficulty and terrain. Over the decades, cycling enthusiasts, urban planners, and community advocates have helped shape this route into a safe, scenic, and welcoming way to explore Tucson's most iconic spots today. As you pedal along this loop, you'll encounter a mix of paved sections and off-road trails, each offering unique experiences and challenges that not only celebrates Tucson's modern-day vibrancy, but also echoes with the history and natural heritage of the region. Whether you're a local or a tourist, if you have a story about the Tucson Bike Loop that you'd like to share, please leave it in the comments. I'd love to hear about it, especially if you have some tips or something interesting that might have happened. And also make sure to check out on this channel my video about why Arizona morning bike rides are the best. So definitely check that out. I also have a playlist with a ton of videos about bike riding in Arizona. So definitely check that out too. Our journey begins with a quick look at the origins of the bike loop. In the late 20th century, as Tucson's population grew, concerns about traffic congestion and environmental sustainability prompted community leaders to champion alternative transportation. The vision quickly expanded from a simple commuting corridor to a dedicated recreational asset and network that reflects both the pulse of the city as well as its desert roots. Early pioneers in the cycling community labored over maps, advocated for bike lanes, and celebrated every new connection that made the loop longer and safer. So to break it down, the loop is composed of 6 major legs, each with a unique character. The Rillito River Park North Tucson, which is the segment that we're on right now, runs about 25 miles from east to west and is ideal for flat, fast rides and artwork installations. This was the anchor of early development of the loop. The second leg is the Santa Cruz River Park, which runs downtown to Marana, over 40 miles north to the south through historic Tucson, part of the Anza National Historic Trail. Then we have the Pantano River Park and Harrison Greenway in the southeast. The Pantano Loop completed the real loop in 2018, and the Harrison Greenway adds about 1.3 miles through desert neighborhoods. Then we have the Julian Wash Greenway, the southeast spur that's about 16 miles and opened up in 2014. Then last we have the Cañada del Oro River Park, which is the northwest spur to Oro Valley, extending towards Oro Valley and is built in phases with more northward segments planned. Also, if you get a chance, make sure to check out my video where I ride around Oro Valley bike trails. It's one of my favorite areas to bike, and it does connect to the loop. But it's a great video, and you'll get a good idea as to the beautiful area Oro Valley is, as well as how awesome the trails are there. At 130 plus miles, it's a massive trail system, but there's all sorts of cool stuff that you can see along the way. Sometimes you'll find some hidden gems like cool street art, little trails, lots of beautifully manicured parks, and of course, the trails themselves are paved really nicely. It's a great ride. We won't see all of these today, but we can now dive into some of the most striking points of interest along the loop. So even though we may not pass by them today, it's definitely something to think about as you plan your visit to the loop, and it might help you figure out what section of the loop you'd like to visit. Starting near the downtown area, you'll pass the districts where restored adobe buildings narrate tales of early 20th century Tucson. Notice the vibrant murals on walls that once bore the weight of industrial grit. Today, these pieces of public art echo with the creative spirit of local artists. One such mural, often seen from the beaten path, portrays scenes from Tucson's pioneer days and is a favorite subject among photography enthusiasts. I'd also highly recommend you get a chance to check out my interview with public artist Ignacio, who actually created that piece and many, many more. I'll include a link to this interview in this video's description, but I was just doing another video on public street art in Tucson when I was walking around downtown and I randomly ran into him. So it was really cool. It was a great experience to talk with him. So if you get a chance, definitely check that one out. As you cycle further, the path hugs the outlines of what was once a bustling railroad corridor. This stretch of the loop is particularly fascinating. Once used to ferry goods and passengers across the desert, the rail line has since been transformed into a linear park place where the whisper of history mingles with the rustle of desert flora. Imagine the clatter of old train wheels and the chatter of station staff as you ride along tracks that have been part of Tucson's industrial boom. This repurposing of historical infrastructure is a brilliant nod to sustainability and community resilience. Another highlight is the section near the Arizona Sonora Desert Museum. Although the museum is a destination in its own right, the loop offers a glimpse of the broader natural tapestry that the museum celebrates. Here, you can pause and admire the native cacti, robust agave. Look out for the iconic saguaro cacti, symbols of the American Southwest, across the landscape. Each prickly silhouette against the setting sun speaks of the beautiful desert environment. Venture a bit further and you'll encounter routes that take you by historical community parks. These parks often serve as gathering places where local families picnic under mesquite trees, where community events recreate the social vibrancy of Tucson's past. The loop itself, by threading through these communal spaces, invites you to not only ride, but also to stop, breathe, and absorb the local way of life. As you've seen today on this ride, we've passed many beautiful parks, and the parks are one of the best things about Tucson. They're so great. Fun, family, just having a great time outside. For history buffs, a particularly intriguing segment is the western stretch of the loop, which skirts old military training grounds and vintage airfields. During World War II, parts of Tucson were critical, and training missions and logistical support remnants of this era still punctuate the modern landscape. Some informational plaques along the route provide insights into how the desert served strategic purposes during the wars. These markers are subtle reminders that the desert, with its overwhelming beauty, has also been a place of intense human endeavor and resilience. In addition to these historic sites, the loop offers several small side trails that lead to hidden gems, farms, quirky roadside stands, and artisanal cafes that were established by locals, decades of heritage behind them. Each stop offers a unique encounter, a chance to chat with a longtime resident, taste a locally brewed drink, or simply enjoy a well-deserved rest in the cool desert shade. Now that we've flipped into the history and scenery, let's talk about some useful tips to ensure your bike ride is both enjoyable and safe. First and foremost, Tucson's desert climate means you'll almost guarantee see sunshine, although today is a little bit overcast, but in general, it's usually pretty sunny. But it also means that you should be prepared for rapid changes in temperature. Hydration here is key. Always have plenty of water, as I mentioned earlier, and consider keeping an electrolyte drink on hand. You can actually get those little squirt bottles of electrolytes at pretty much any grocery store. They usually are near where you buy the flavored waters. It's kind of similar to, say Gatorade. Really smart to have one of those on hand just in case. Another tip, the bike loop is segmented into both paved and unpaved sections. We're on a paved section today. Depending on your bike type, whether it's a road bike, hybrid, or a mountain bike, test your tire pressure in advance. For those who are new to mixed terrain riding, it might be a good idea to test your equipment on a shorter section of the loop before embarking on a longer journey. Make sure your bike's brakes, gears, and lights are all in optimal condition. And don't forget to have a basic toolkit with a spare tube, tire levers, and pump. I also like to take my bike in about once a year just for a general tune-up where they kind of check everything and the brakes, making sure all the gears are working correctly, everything is lubed up, and that everything is aligned. There's actually a store here in Tucson that I like to go to called Ajo Bikes. And in fact, I actually did a review on Ajo Bikes a while back. I'll put a link to that short review in this video's description if you'd like to learn a little bit more about it. Local cyclists also swear by a smartphone or GPS cycling app that tracks not only your route but also nearby amenities. Many segments of the loop have designated rest stops and informational kiosks. These locations often provide maps, water refill stations, and even emergency contact numbers. Don't hesitate to use them. Locals keep these spots maintained, and they're excellent for both a quick break and local advice. Safety is paramount on this route. While the loop is largely separated from car traffic for the most part, there are intersections and bridges that you're going to encounter. So you will come across some motor vehicles. Just keep your eyes open. Safety is paramount. Most of it, you're kind of away from cars, but like today we did cross one street and not a big deal. Just always signal your turns, wear reflective gear, and if you're riding after dusk, remember that your safety is in your hands. Whether you're an adrenaline junkie or a leisurely rider, Tucson's bike loop has pockets where you can push your limits or simply savor the scenery. If you're unfamiliar with local bike rides or need suggestions on where to stop for lunch, engaging with fellow cyclists along the route can offer invaluable insights. Tucson's biking community is friendly, and in my experience is always ready to share. People in general in Tucson are really friendly. So now let's explore some of the local hotspots and scenic rides along the loop that highlight what makes Tucson unique. One of the most popular segments begins just outside downtown, where the urban landscape transitions into the wild. Embrace the desert. That part of the loop offers a striking juxtaposition: historic buildings, local art murals, and then open desert with its dramatic vistas. It's a perfect location for both urban explorers and nature enthusiasts. Another favorite stretch that runs adjacent to the Tucson mountains. As you ride alongside these ancient formations, you not only get a taste of the local geology, but also enjoy panoramic views that capture the sprawling expanse of northern desert. In the early mornings, when the sun is just peeking over the horizon, this section of the loop transforms into a painter's canvas of soft light and long shadows. Local photographers and Instagram enthusiasts often flock here to capture that perfect moment. Beyond the scenic beauty, there are several community-run events that take place on the loop throughout the year, ranging from charity rides to local bike gatherings. These events not only foster community spirit, but are also an excellent opportunity for visitors to connect with the Tucson locals. If you're planning your ride, check local event listings or community boards' upcoming group ride, which can add an extra layer of fun and safety to your trip. Additionally, near several points along the loop are hidden gems like small family-run cafes and food trucks, serving up everything from authentic Sonoran hot dogs to refreshing prickly pear lemonade. These stops often serve as an unofficial rest stop where you can fuel up and chat with locals about the best things nearby. It's these unexpected encounters that truly make cycling in Tucson an adventure of discovery. As we near the end of our time, we like to reflect on what makes the Tucson Bike Loop so special. It isn't just a route from point A to point B, it's a journey through the past and present of Tucson. Every mile tells a story, from the reclaimed railroad tracks echoing with history to urban art that speaks with the creative energy of the community. Every twist and turn offers something new. Whether you're a seasoned local or a first-time visitor, there's always a discovery waiting just around the next bend. So what's the takeaway for you? Embrace the mix of adventure and introspection that comes with cycling this historic loop. Prepare well, ride safely, and be open to conversation, because along the loop, you're not just a cyclist, you're a participant in Tucson's ongoing story.
We did it! As you can see, we are like right at the edge of the storm. Let me see if I can show you this. Storm. Us basically, not a storm. So, got back on that ride just in time. The loop right there behind me, 131 miles. We did not do that today, but it's an awesome ride. As you can see, it's really well paved. Thank you so much for taking the time to come with me on this journey. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. If you like kind of cool outdoorsy stuff in Arizona, I'm always trying to discover new things. So come along for the ride if you like. I think that would be awesome. Please feel free to leave any comments in the video if you have any suggestions or things like that. I think that would be awesome. I would always love to hear, especially if like you're a local and you know some cool stuff. Like I said, we're kind of on the northern side of the loop today. We are by the Catalina Mountains near the foothills. This is at Rillito Park, which is a fantastic park. It's one of my favorite parks in Tucson. And as you can see, parking here is pretty easy, and it's almost always like this. It's a beautiful place. But anyways, enough rambling. Thanks so much for coming along on the ride. Really appreciate you and everything that you do. Go out, have a great day, and take care. See you in the next video. Wouldn't that be funny if I forgot to press record? Well, let's find out.